Cargo vessel approaches the dock, it looks like the most stable business on Earth. This sprawling yard serves as an inescapable bottleneck. Because every imported container must cross this specific piece of concrete to enter the country, it functions as a local toll booth for the global economy. However, that local dominance depends entirely on variables half a world away. A labor strike or a single ship wedged sideways in a distant canal can stop the flow of revenue instantly. Operating a terminal is a high-volume infrastructure play, where the business only works if the machinery never stops. Getting into this business requires more than just capital. It requires years of patience. The upfront process mirrors the timeline of opening a gold mine. Developers spend 5 to 10 years financing environmental impact studies, dredging permits, and local zoning boards before they ever move their first container. That expensive, decade-long struggle eventually becomes an asset. It creates a regulatory moat so deep that governments typically grant operators 50-year leases because building a competing port next door is nearly impossible. This lack of competition suggests a secure monopoly, yet it hides the financial pressures that build up behind the scenes while the yard is being constructed. Terminal operators own the equipment, not the ships or the cargo. Their primary income comes from handling fees, specifically the price charged every time these gantry cranes lift a box. Because they only get paid when boxes move, operators view the terminal as a parking lot that thrives on being empty. If a container sits on the dock too long, the terminal triggers demurrage and detention fees. These penalties grow rapidly to force the retailer to haul their cargo away. When the yard reaches this level of density, the entire system breaks. If there is no room to set a container down, the cranes cannot unload the next ship, and the terminal's ability to generate fees vanishes. Survival in this business is a relentless war to keep the concrete clear and the cargo moving out the gate. The drive for velocity exists because the underlying costs are massive and constant. A single ship-to-shore gantry crane can cost tens of millions of dollars. Operations also require highly specialized, unionized maritime labor. These workers command premium wages that must be paid regardless of how many ships arrive. On top of payroll and equipment, the operator must service the enormous debt used to build the facility and maintain a 50-year government lease. These fixed costs demand a continuous stream of cash, making the terminal vulnerable to any dip in global trade volume. Global recessions, geopolitical conflicts, or a blocked shipping lane can cause ship arrivals to stop entirely. Handling revenue drops toward the bottom of the chart, while the cost of the mortgage and equipment remains fixed across the middle. When the incoming fees disappear, the facility becomes a liability. The cash bleed is massive and immediate because those fixed costs never sleep. The operator is ultimately at the mercy of global macroeconomic factors they cannot influence or control. Heavy financial leverage acts as a double-edged sword. It multiplies profit margins when global trade is booming, creating the look of an effortless fortune. During a downturn, that same leverage amplifies the losses. The debt can consume the entire business before the shipping lanes ever have a chance to reopen. Owning a shipping terminal is a high-stakes bet on global stability, where success depends on the supply chain staying perfectly on schedule until the debt is finally cleared.